is a risky business. That's why sometimes we need a push to take the plunge.
Well, sounds like you didn't get much.
Hello everyone, it's Simmuz here. Welcome to a brand new video. This is the Halloween video that is my usual collab that I do every year, and we are building the Sidney Prescott house from the original 1996 Scream movie. And if you don't know, if you haven't watched any of my other Halloween videos throughout the years, I always do this kind of collab with one of my friends, hiphiprenee, that she usually hosts. This is the Hell House Collab. So of course, in the description down below, there are going to be links to other creators that are participating in this collab and creating many others famous houses and places from horror media. So I highly suggest you check the description down below and support everybody that took part in this year's Hell House Collab. Since the last couple of years for the Hell House Collab, I created Scream houses. I decided to continue this tradition as well and created Sidney Prescott's house from the original Scream 1996. And here it is. As always, it is up on the gallery and you can download it easily. It doesn't have any custom content. It's completely custom content free, but I do use a lot of different packs. And it is up on the gallery. You can look it up using my ID, which is SillySimmuz, like here on YouTube without spaces, or hashtag SillySimmuz as well. And I decided to create Sidney Prescott's house to continue my tradition with the Scream franchise houses. It was a pretty big challenge, I have to say, for different reasons. First thing first, we don't really have that much imagery from Sidney's house. We only have a couple of shots from the outside and a few shots from the inside, and I'm gonna talk about those in a second. But it was also very hard to find any picture or any information about the house, even from today. The only thing that I found was a Zillow thing, a Zillow post basically, where it said that the house and the property are worth $4.4 million more or less. So of course this keeps up with the tradition that the Scream franchise has been using a lot of very expensive houses for their scenes. As you might have seen if you saw the other videos, I also talk about how expensive those houses were. And you know, this is probably the least expensive house, but it is also the smaller house, and we don't really see it much in the movie. We see it a little bit from the outside, only in one scene when Sidney is coming back home from school after Casey's murders, and she goes inside the house. She walks around the back in the big giant patio that it's at the back, and goes up the stairs and goes back down from the stair inside that we're building right now. The only thing that I couldn't really do was that the stairs that are in the actual house are a spiral staircase, and we cannot do that in The Sims. So I had to improvise and do this kind of angular staircase, which is not the same, but it's pretty good, I think. Other places that we actually see in the movie are the inside of her bedroom, which we see first when there is the first scenes where Billy comes to say hi and then her dad interrupts them. And then we see it later on when she is chased by Ghostface and she goes up the stairs and into her bedroom and she calls 911 on the computer. And that's basically what we see for her bedroom. The rest of the house, it's kind of shown here and there when she comes back home. We do see the kitchen / living room that she has, where she watches TV and they talk about the murder of her mom. And we also see another living room where she falls asleep, and then it's when Ghostface calls her. So those three bedrooms are basically everything that we have for this house, and I kind of try to base those three rooms as much as possible for the actual movie and what we see in the movie, while the rest of the house is very much just me kind of filling in the blank spaces. We really don't have much more information. As I said, I did try to look it up on Zillow, wondering if maybe it was sold recently or there was any information about it. But the only thing that I found was the price point. Even pictures, there are no pictures of the property anywhere except like screenshots from the movie itself, which of course I already had on hand, so nothing really useful. And it was a little bit hard. So if this house isn't exactly what you expected, I'm sorry, but it was just very hard to figure out how the house would look like. I tried to keep the things that we see are as right as I could make them. So hopefully you can see that. Especially, I think I tried my best in the intro as well, trying to match the intro to what the movie actually shows and the scenes that are in the movie. Of course, I did it at night just to make it a little bit more spooky, because what happens in the movie actually happens during the day, except for, I guess, the phone call does happen at night. But, I try to give it a little bit more spook. But yeah, it's not other than three, but the three rooms, basically the kitchen, the living room, and her bedroom. There's not really much that I could go off for, and it is what it is. But I think in the end, I'm very, very pleased with how it looks. In The Sims, I think this house is worth like just 100 and something thousand simoleons. Not very, very expensive, especially when you confront it to the other two houses that I built. I built Casey Becker's house from the Scream, the first scenes, and also to Macher's house from the final scenes, basically. And now it was Sydney's turn, of course, and I did it. And in the end, I'm pretty pleased. But as I said, this is a collab with other people, so if you want to check, I'm going to leave in the description down below links to everybody else's videos, and I think there's probably also gonna be a playlist made, so I might also link that down in the description below. I'm not really sure how many people are participating, at least 4, I'm pretty sure, and Renee for sure. I might read that for you. I know Renee is making the Sanderson sisters house from Hocus Pocus, and also we have Lara Wilder, who is building Monte Cristo, which I'm very excited to see. And of course I built this house, so I highly suggest you check everything out if you want for yourself. One thing that I didn't mention yet, at the end of the video there are going to be screenshots of the house. That's why it's in the speed build that you're watching right now. There is not going to be every single thing made. I just filmed some things and then cut it down as much as possible. This video is pretty long still. It's just shy of 19 minutes, so still it's a pretty long build, but I try to keep it at least interesting and show the things that I knew were a little bit more interesting, like bathrooms I haven't shown, and all like the detailing process of like making sure the house makes sense. Also because in the original house there is actually a way bigger descent at the back, which I couldn't really do because the lot isn't that big. It's a 40 by 40 lot, which is pretty big for The Sims, but having the big descent going at the back, because I think it's built on top of a hill, it wasn't really possible. And the patio that we are building right now, which yes, I am placing 2 tables, two different, and they're not even different, they're the same metal tables for the outdoors, because it's the same that we have that we see in the movie. Yes, she has 2 tables outside, not 1, 2. And what I wanted to say is there is such a big descent that I couldn't really do for The Sims. And actually there is supposed also to be a garage. I'm pretty sure you can see it in a picture that I found, which is such a blurry picture. I'm not even gonna show it, but if you look up SIDNEY Prescott's house, it is one of the first pictures that loads up on Google, and it's the only picture that I think it's from a more modern day look. And you do see a hint of a garage, that is supposed to be in the part of the house that goes from the little staircase on the outside, the side staircase that you see from the front, which is a very weird spot because you also have the entrance right there. It's a one front porch and has two different places to go out from. But the other staircase, the one that is a little bigger, which I did try to give a little bit of a leveling, because the first the entrance part where you come in does have two steps, while the other one on the side has three. It should have been three, and then would have been a very, very deep descent, which I couldn't really do. So that's also a little part of something. But right now we are building Sydney's bedroom. I try to put I remember vividly to put the door and the wardrobe next to each other, because if you don't remember, she showed twice that she uses that as a method to keep people out of her bedroom. She opens up the door for the wardrobe and uses it to stop the other door. And she does that with her dad at first, and then she does it again with Ghostface when he's chasing her. And she goes to the computer, which I am placing right now, and she types in to call 911, which, you know, it's one of my favorite scenes, the chase scene, and her saying just a little moments before she's saying on the phone, oh, I don't watch horror movies because there is just a blonde bimbo that runs up the stairs instead of going out. And then she does the same thing when she's in the situation and she runs up the stairs, and it's very funny. And yeah, and here is the living room that I was talking about. This is basically everything that we see. Just this couch, lamps, and we see it at first when she comes in and she sits down. There is a fireplace. I did put that in, but it's not green and like super fancy like the one that she has in her house. But you know, it's something just in place of it. And yeah, she just sits on that couch, looks at the clock, and falls asleep for a few hours, and then Ghostface calls her. And you see it again a little bit when Ghostface calls her. There are a couple of scenes where you see a little bit more of the background, so I did also use those as well. But hopefully you guys are liking this house. And oh, as I said, this is for the Halloween week, so if you haven't watched the other videos that I made for this Halloween week, we already posted a few, and there is going to be another special one tomorrow coming out. I'm very, very excited for that one, and but I'm very, very proud of all the videos that I made for the Halloween week. I think they all turned out very nice, and this one, the one that I posted yesterday about Yolanda Pascucci, and the one that is coming out tomorrow, are my favorites, I have to say. But I do also love the other three that I posted. So if you need some spooky content for Halloween, I highly suggest you check my channel and see what other content we have. Ooh, something that might be controversial. I did put in that table here at the entrance. The thing is, you don't really see it until she is attacked by Ghostface, and you kind of see a table in the entrance. But when she firstly comes down the stairs and opens up the wardrobe and puts in, I think, a coat or whatever she had with her, and then goes into the kitchen, in that scene there isn't really a table that you see. So I don't know where that was, or if it's just in another spot. So I wasn't really sure, but I did put it in. So there is that. You can let me know, of course, in the comments down below what you think I did right and what I did wrong with this house, and if you like it or not. Basically, now I'm just creating a couple of other bedrooms. This is supposed to be the parents' bedroom, I guess the dad's bedroom, because her mom was murdered. But, you know, and I try to make it... The only thing that I'm kind of disappointed with is that The Sims 4 doesn't really have that great 90s style furniture. So it really looks like way too modern for the time. But, you know, in the end, I think it works out, and I'm not too mad about it. I just wish we had, you know, a couple of different items that would work a little bit better. But, you know, these are the bedrooms, just a couple of guest bedrooms, I guess, because I didn't really know what else to put in. It's not like it says that she has any hobbies that I could have really put in. and I don't remember what her dad does for work, so I don't really remember what else I could have put in. I remember he goes away for work, but what does he do? I don't remember. So that's the only thing. So I did a couple of guest bedrooms, which I guess it makes sense. It's such a big house. It would make sense for them to have a couple of guest bedrooms, especially if it's only 2 people living here. It was 3, but you know, 2 now, so still, it's such a big house. And I love it. It's gorgeous, and I think all of the houses in the Scream franchise are very pretty. And you know, this is the last one, just to top it all off. So I think we are going into the screenshots in a second, just placing some lights outside to give a little bit more ambiance. And yeah, that's basically the house done. Just a few more bushes just to make the area. What I really like about the Sims is the amount of plants that we can have in different spots, and like making it bigger, making it smaller. It's very helpful. I wish we had more, just a little bit, but you know, it is already a lot of different plants, and it's very useful for stuff like this, especially because Scream, I don't know if you never noticed, but I think it's supposed to be like set in California, and there's so much greenery. I think it maybe was also filmed in California. I'm not really sure, but there's so much greenery all around. All the houses have giant gardens full of plants, so I wanted to recreate that in Sydney's house as well. And you do see a lot of plants also in the few shots that we have from the outside. But these are the screenshots. So I am, you know, showing you the outside of the house that I built. There are 2 chimneys because I did put in 2 fireplaces, so it made sense since they were on opposite ends of the house for me to have 2 chimneys. And yeah, this is just some outside shots. Hopefully the indoor shots aren't too bad. I wish we had a better wallpaper to represent the wallpaper that she has in her house, but you know, it works. So I guess this is it. Thank you so much for watching the Scream video building Sidney Prescott's house. If you haven't watched, I built also Becker's and Macher's houses, and those were also for the Halloween collab, Hell House Collab by hiphiprenee. And also, as I said in the description down below, there's also going to be links and probably playlists for the other videos, so I highly suggest you check those out. I might also put the playlist of the older Hell House collabs that I did. Hopefully you'll like them as well. And that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to download this house, as I said, it is up on the gallery, so you can look it up and search it and download it for yourself and live in it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, put on notifications so that you know when the next video is coming out. And tomorrow's video is very important to me, so please watch it. Thank you so much, and bye bye.